Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Amanda Rose, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys my most favorite colorful eyeshadow palettes. Mind you, everyone's opinion of a colorful eyeshadow palette is going to be different from another person. But before we do get started, please subscribe to my channel for beauty and lifestyle. Also, don't forget to click the post notification bell just to be notified when my videos do go live. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I do have 10 eyeshadow palettes here that range from like super colorful, rainbow, all that stuff, to half neutrals and half colorful. I'm not kidding you guys right now. I just filmed a whole freaking video, and for some reason my sound wasn't working. I don't know if I had to unplug and plug stuff, but I had to start all over again. So if it seems like I'm rushing through this, I kind of am, because I have 30 minutes until I have to leave here to go, not even 30, I have like 25 minutes until I have to go pick up Wesley from the bus stop, and it's raining outside and I don't want to ruin my look, so I'm going to try my best to not stumble over my words. I'm going to go in no particular order with all of these eyeshadow palettes, so let's go ahead and get into it. The first one that I'm going to go in with is a sustainable beauty brand. This is by Athr Beauty. This eyeshadow palette here has beautiful colors in here. It's right up my alley. You guys know that teal, turquoise, and purple are my most favorite colors to go on brown eyes. I do really love a good gray as well. Every color in here is really pretty. The layout of everything is different. I've never really seen shapes like this before, but I'm guessing they're trying to mimic crystals and all of that. So this is a sustainable brand. It doesn't have a mirror in it. It doesn't have any metals that can't be recycled. It has no magnets in it either. So it is truly a sustainable brand. Now it is $58 and it is kind of pricey. I wouldn't say that it is like 100% worth it, but for the color selection, I think they did a really good job. A lot of these metallic shimmer shades are packed with pigment and they go on so smooth. Everything does blend out really well. Then the next palette that we have here should not be a surprise to you guys. I just did a review on it. I am wearing it on my eyes right now, which I did do a spotlight eye on this, which I've never done before. The palette that I'm talking about is by HUDA Beauty. This is the Mercury Retrograde palette. Yes, I just did a review on it, and yes, it is fairly new, but I do love the color selection. There are 18 eyeshadows in here, 6 of which are high shine creamy metallics. Some are creamy mattes. There is a glitter shade in here as well, which I did use in my video. This does come with a mirror, and this is pretty heavy duty, but it's not too heavy. The colors in here are gorgeous. I do love that there are warmer tones and cooler tones, so you can play with any type of shade that you want. Now, if you do work in a work setting where you cannot wear bright colors, you can still do very simple shades and then put like a pop of color on the lid, or you can just go wild and crazy and go with these shades up here, which I absolutely love. But when I tell you that the creamy metallics are creamy, they are so creamy and so buttery and so soft. It literally feels like pillows and clouds. Like, it is one of the most creamy formulas that I have ever felt in my life. I love the duochrome shift that some of these metallics have, and the glitter is like, oh my god, the glitter is so gorgeous. I needed a little zhuzh on my eye, and I added a little bit to the center, and it was absolutely perfect. It's this guy right here. It is kind of like a bluish silver reflect. It is just, oh my god. The mattes blend out way better than any other eyeshadow palette that I have from her, even better than the rose quartz one that I just reviewed. After trying the rose quartz, I was like, I really need to try this one out. This is originally $67 and I got it for $33.50 on Sephora. You guys need to go get this right now because it's still on sale. You can buy it online. The next palette that I have here is by GLAMLITE. It is the GLAMLITE MIKAYLA collab. The packaging is really cute. It does have glitters in it. If you guys don't know who MIKAYLA is, she is a huge beauty influencer creator on TikTok, and she has got the best Northeast accent. She's so fun and cute. This is the palette here. It comes with a sizable mirror. It is very lightweight. The packaging is cardboard. This does come with eyeshadows, pressed pigments, metallics, shimmers, all of that. You do get 30 shades in here. When I swatch this, the mattes don't really show up very well, but when you apply these onto your eye, eyes. It just goes on really well, blends out really well. The mattes layer very nicely. It doesn't get muddy or lost in each other like some do. The bread and butter of this eyeshadow palette are definitely the metallics and the shimmers in here. I cannot tell you guys enough how amazing they are. Anytime that you put your finger in them, it's kind of like the Huda Beauty one where it's like a creamy metallic, but the texture is slightly different from the Huda ones. I feel like these are much softer and they're a little crumbly. Usually if they are a bit crumbly, that means that the pigment is going to be intensified. This palette may look really confusing and intimidating because there are so many different colors and shades that you can use, and it can get overwhelming sometimes because it happens to me sometimes as well. You do have all of your neutrals up top that are very easy to work with. When you come down here, you have all the blues that you can work with, purples, you can work with the greens this way, and the pinks this way. So it kind of helps map out what you can do with eyeshadow looks. I do also love all of these shade names in here. We have Portuguese. I'm a Portuguese as well, so I can relate to that. In Hawaii, they say Portuguese, like, you know, Portuguese, yap, 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 yap. We talk a lot, which is true. I could literally talk for like hours on end. I flap my gums all the time. One of my most favorite shade names is Masshole. When I drive, I am definitely a masshole. That was like one thing that I picked up from Massachusetts and moving back home. No one knows how to drive here. That's all I have to say. The next palette that I have is Jaclyn Hill and Morphe. This is the volume 2 palette. When I say this is colorful, you guys, this is like, oh, whoa. What do I do with that? This is the palette here. It is so beautiful. I love all of the colors in it. This is more of a warm toned palette. There are 35 shades in here. I can't remember how much this was. I think it was like $30 on the Morphe website, or you can get it in store if you like. This brand is very affordable, and the quality on the Jaclyn Hill palettes are always amazing. They really know how to formulate their eyeshadows. Now, when it comes to the palette as a whole, I feel like the matte shades are the bread and butter of this whole eyeshadow palette. The shimmer shades do okay, but they're not as pigmented as I would want them to be, so you do have to go in with either your finger or go in with a brush and a setting spray, like maybe both of them actually, because the shimmers aren't my favorite in this palette, but the mattes are so good. When you do use this palette, you need to make sure that when you dip your brush into it, you tap off the excess and build the colors up. If you go straight in and pack this color on, sometimes it does get really hard to blend them out, and you can still see the line or the spot where you had placed the eyeshadow. There is a plethora of different looks that you can do with this, and this is one palette that gets me really excited, and I love the color story in this one. Next, I have a slightly new palette thanks to my friend Laura. I am totally obsessed with this palette. It was in my October favorites or September favorites. I can't remember. I think it was September. This is the BPERFECT Carnival XL Pro palette. This you can get on Beauty Bay, and I paid $40 something for it. This palette has 40 shades, 30 eyeshadows, and 10 shimmers with 3 highlighters. These eyeshadows are good for the whole body. So we have our highlighter shades down here, a ton of colors throughout here. Now, what I love about this palette the most is how many shades are in here and what type of shades are in here. I would say that this is predominantly more of like a neutral to cool tone eyeshadow palette. We do have some warm tones in here, yes, but when I do color, I prefer more of a cool tone. When it comes to the matte shades, they aren't as pigmented as most eyeshadows that I have tried, but when you do apply them to your eyes and you build them up, it gives you the right amount of pigment that you need for the eyeshadow look that you want. The shimmer shades are really pretty. They're very pigmented. Some are better than others, but they all do a really good job of going on with a finger or with a brush. None of these skip. I'd probably say my most favorite shade is this blue one right here and this shade right here. Some of the lighter shades you do have to pack on first and then blend out. It just always makes me really excited to play with this palette. It's so pretty, so many colors, and all the colors are right up my alley. Next, we have a Juvia's Place palette. This is the Masquerade Mini. This one I got a while ago, and I haven't really used it, but I remember the colors in here, and I could not believe how beautiful these are. I really need to pick this one up again because the colors, the shimmers are just beautiful. You have half neutral, some of which are a little bit more red toned, and then we do have our colorful shades up here. I am a huge fan of this whole top row. You guys know that I love my greens, I love my blues, and my turquoise on brown eyes, and this is what pulled me in the most. With this eyeshadow palette, yes, the mattes are great, they're fine. For it being super affordable, I think this was probably about like $20 to $24 for this whole palette. This eyeshadow palette should be more. When you swatch these and put them on your eyes, they're so creamy that when you do swatch them, you don't see any skin, you don't see any patchiness, and these are packed with pigment. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these four up here just to show you what I'm talking about. This is the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. This blue one is my absolute favorite. Like, out of my whole collection, out of all the blues that I have, this one is definitely my favorite. It's almost like the deep ocean, and then we have the shade down here, which is one of my most favorite colors. But do you see on all of these that you don't see any skin? I freaking love this palette. Nothing beats the price. Next, we have an eyeshadow palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Norvina Volume 4 Pro Pigment palette. This one retails for $60. So this palette has a sizable mirror. It has 25 shades. This has pressed pigments, eyeshadows, glitters, and metallics. Now, when you look at this palette, you're like, that's not that colorful. For someone like me who was just getting into color, this was very colorful for me with the hot pinks, the purple, you've got the yellow here, and I appreciated that this one had a little bit of brown in it so that if I wanted to just do a very simple look, I could do that. But this is a very beautiful palette. I love all the colors in here. The pinks in here pack a punch with pigment. Obviously this is a pressed pigment, so it is going to be very pigmented. Some of them will stain your eyes though, so be aware of that. The shimmers and the metallics go on so well. You can use your finger or a brush with it, and it is so bright and fun. The glitters are so pretty when you do pack them on, so make sure that when you do put the glitters on, you pack them on and you don't swipe it on. Otherwise, you will get a lot of glitter fallout. Absolutely love this palette and all of the colors that are in it. It's a great beginner's colorful eyeshadow palette. Next, we have an affordable eyeshadow. You guys definitely know this brand. This is by ColourPop. This is the High Tide palette. I think I got this for $14 at Ulta. I did also get it with my fine feathered one, but I prefer this one more than the fine feathered. This one, you guys, look at these shades in here. They're so beautiful. Anything that is like a turquoise, teal, green, I am completely obsessed with. I just love it on brown eyes. I'd probably say out of almost every eyeshadow palette that I have, the ColourPop mattes blend out effortlessly. Like, you barely even need to blend out and you're done in like 10 seconds flat. And for all these shades here, they do a really good job of layering on top of each other. It doesn't look muddy. The only thing with the mattes is that there is a lot of fallout in the palette, so if you don't mind that, then you're all good there. If you do a makeup look, again, do your eyes first with this and then go in with your face makeup. And then we do have the shimmers in here, and these shimmers are really pretty. Like, they're super buttery and soft. For a palette that's super affordable, they did a really good job with the formulation of this eyeshadow palette. So I'll go ahead and swatch some of my favorite shades in here. This is Must See, Muscle Beach, and this is Urchin. So those are the shades here. I mean, this is kind of like a sea foam green, and then you have the forest green on the bottom. It is just, I love this eyeshadow palette so much, and you can't beat the price either. The next eyeshadow palette that we have is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Norvina palette. This is the OG. This is the original of the Norvinas, even though the other ones are Pro Pigments. This is the first collab with her mom. This eyeshadow palette I think retails for around like $40 to $45, maybe even almost $50. I can't remember. This comes with a mirror and it comes with a brush. That's with every eyeshadow palette like this. This eyeshadow palette is so gorgeous. It is one of those where it is fun, but it is also sultry at the same time, and it has very rich colors in it. The matte shades in here are very beautiful. I love that you have warm tones all the way down to cool tones. Same with all of the creamy shimmers all throughout here. With the matte shades, they are very, very pigmented. When you do apply these, make sure to tap off the excess, otherwise it is going to get everywhere. It's like Fallout City. Make sure to tap off the excess and build up your matte shades. With the creamy shimmers, I am calling it creamy because other than the Huda Beauty one, these shimmer shades are the most creamy shimmer shades I've ever felt in my life. It literally feels like you're putting your fingers in butter. Like, I don't put my fingers in butter, but I do cook with butter, and that's what it feels like. It's like almost like a cream to powder finish. My favorite shades are these 4 shades in here. They are so rich, sultry, beautiful, different than what I've ever used. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these 4 shades for you guys, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is Rose Gold. This is my favorite shade out of the whole palette. This is Celestial. It's not as creamy as the first one. This one's Dazzling, and this one is Drama. You can't see any skin peeking through. Like, this is literally one of the best formulas for a shimmer metallic type eyeshadow. I'd almost compare those shimmer shades to the GLAMLITE MIKAYLA and the Huda Beauty one. And the last palette that we have here is another Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. This is the collab with Jaclyn. I love the packaging. I love the holographic colors, and it is just the vibe. This palette looks very confusing, I know, but once you put all the colors together, it all works out. Even colors you think won't work out together will work out. I do also love the matte shades in here. They are great transitional shades, and they're also great to deepen up the crease. I think that she did a really good job with that. I do really love the colors of the creamy shimmer metallic shades. This palette is extremely unique and nothing like I have ever seen before with this type of color story. This eyeshadow palette is really rich. It has deep shades, and who doesn't want to support a queen? Okay, like, Jaclyn is hilarious. She's real. She's weird. Like, everything that I am minus the queen, I can relate to her on that level. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch some of my most favorite colors in this palette. The first one's Zam. The next one is Wigglese. Look at how gorgeous that is. That red is like the perfect red tone. Like, these 2 colors would be perfect, like a holiday look. The next one is Sponsored. I love this one because you can kind of see a little bit of brown on the side here. Literally looks like the shade of money. This one should have been called Dwellas, okay? The last one is Lituation. I really love this one as well because this is more of like a neutral toned with a little bit of gray in it type brown. So pretty and pigmented and like everything that I would want on my eyeballs. All right, guys, so that is it for my video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for beauty and lifestyle. If there's anything else that you guys do want to see, please let me know in the comment section down below. I want to know if you guys want to see like ranking of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, rankings of all of the eyeshadow palettes that I have tried out this year. I am going to be doing my top 10 favorite neutral palettes that are affordable and higher end. That one will be coming next. I just wanted to show you guys what was in my collection. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these palettes, what you think of them, or if there is a palette or palettes that you absolutely love that I should take a look at, because you guys know that I'm always open to trying out new palettes. Why not? I mean, this is what I love to do, and it's so much fun. That is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Out web, you do get 30 let's see, color photonics go on the only